learn more. Thank you, DTM James, for educating us.
Welcome.
Now, here comes our presenters. Well, for a contest chair, the best thing to have would be an ideal set of contest masters who are not only eloquent in speaking, but also are capable of creating that galore in the event, increasing the enthusiasm of the attendees and running a show. So these are our showstoppers for today. And one is a well-known figure now because he's attending Toastmasters meeting around the world. A great mentor to all of us. And of course, a great inspiration even to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He has served Mohammed Al Dosari Hospitals as their Chief Executive Officer and currently serves the organization as an advisor to the board. He has completed 4 parts already. So I believe he joins the ranks of those few Toastmasters in District 79 who have mastered the art of pathways learning experience. And I know that I'm the only one who can give him that introduction. So DTM Fatah, I gave you that introduction. Please show us how to run a prepared speech contest from a contest master's perspective.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Can you hear me? Hello?
You're completely audible.
Yes. Let me double check. Yes, I am audible. I thought that. Okay, listen. As I said to you earlier on, this is the time after 2 hours and 15 minutes when you stretch your legs, go for a break, go for coffee, go release the pressure. It's okay. It will be me and DTM Madusha and most probably DTM Kaiser who remain there to check what I'm doing. So you're allowed to go for a break. Anyway, having said that, I hope I can grab your attention after this long time. And meanwhile, I would like also to see somebody that I would like to welcome him. That's Toastmaster Adel Al-Jiman, our champion. Now, the best part of it is the chief judge, the contest chair, and DTM James have said it all. I've got very little to say. That's why my presentation is going to be so short, so that I will leave more time for Minori, who actually had an awesome job to do and a little bit more complicated. So if this is serious, can you go away? Thank you. I said go away. Okay, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk today about the online international for human speech contest as a contest master. What is your role? Very plain, very simple, because the contest chair will have to do everything. All you have to do is get up, dress up, and show up. And that's it. Show up, of course, with your script, because that's very important. Having said that, let's remember one thing, that this contest, which we are holding online, is the one who will pick up the champion and who will start his journey towards Paris, the city of love. And look at this great team who are actually helping me to prepare this, and I thank you for selecting me. Now, having said that, what is the content? It's very simple and very brief, because I'm not going to teach you anything. You all know it, except that we will see what are the few exceptions for the contest chair online. Okay? So I'm going to talk about the script online, because that's important. I prepared my script, and I'm sure each contest master will prepare his own, and then trust me, they're not different to what we have done before. It's all the same. Then I will talk about what needs to be omitted from the script, which doesn't make sense to have those sentences in the speech, right? I know you agree with me. And also, I'll talk about what to watch out for when conducting an online speech, because this is our first time. Okay, having said that, I will start, ladies and gentlemen, with our script. Now, in the script, it's the usual. You know, you have to welcome everybody and to say we're tonight we're starting something. And because I want to brag about my French, I included something, le Palais de Congrès de Paris. Okay, et bonjour à tous. If you have a German, you can also expose yourself. And I'm sure most contestants would like to put a little clause, like a little quote, like always dream and shoot higher than you know you can do. Don't bother just to be better than your compatriots or predecessors. Just try to be better than yourself. Now, if you notice, I put follow Toastmasters, dignitaries, and my virtual audience, and of course the hero. I didn't say anything else. I didn't. You see, because what happened is the contest chair has already welcomed everybody. You know, the dignitaries by name. He most probably welcomed their siblings, their neighbors. So why have I to waste time and repeat them? So I just refer them to them as dignitaries, right? Good. The next thing is, in your speech, you say that now you're going to start introducing the contestants, the smarter community, the battle, just a little brag. Now, the purpose of this contest, or the purpose of this contest it's a clause which we usually say when we introduce the international speech, to provide an opportunity to improve and recognize, to provide an opportunity to learn by observing. Now, you might say, what did you put a question mark in there? See, also time management. Now, if the contest chair also says this, which he might do, then I don't have to repeat it. And if he doesn't, then I'll have to say, you agree with me, okay? And then after that, you will say the usual sentence: the contestants have been briefed on contest rules and procedures, and the contestants have been able to inform the timing, signals, etc., which is standard clause in our normal speeches, in our normal, what you call contest not online. Okay, you just have to repeat it. Now, time is very important. And the requirement of time shall be 5 to 7 minutes. Contestant will be disqualified, 30 seconds, the green signal will be displayed, and these are what they will see. And obviously here the advice of the contestants is really to pin the timer and also pin the second timer just in case. So you see, because in the green, he's happy, the speaker. You can see his face. In the yellow, when he sees the yellow, he starts, oh my God, I've got so much to do. But when he sees the red, he starts screaming and shouting, you know, oh my God, I'm not going to finish. And he might wrap it up quickly. So, if you're a contestant, don't let your speech go more than 500, 550 words. Just an advice. Now, what's next? The script. When you address, okay, this is contestant, please turn, this is very important. I wrote it in red. Turn your cell phones and other electronic devices next to you, even if it's on vibration, because it makes a noise. Sure, you are in a locked room. You remind them so that any member of your family doesn't interrupt you, like my grandkids. I hope they don't interrupt me. I put a cartoon for them during the speech. Should you face any issue with your connection, sound system, and this is what I've heard the judges say, you'll be allowed 30 seconds extra to address the issue and continue where you stopped from. That's what they said in our meeting last time, before being disqualified, because if you take, I don't know, 5 minutes or 3 minutes to address, well, you're disqualified. And then, of course, you go to the usual thing. The contestant international speech shall be introduced in the following manner: contest name, speech title. Come on, we all know this. Ladies and gentlemen, etc. It's a pleasure to introduce Roger Cirillo, Genius, and so on and so forth. Having said that, now, starting and conducting the contest. Sergeant Arms, this is what you have to say, which you said, can you please confirm that all contestants have tested, and this is very important, their Bluetooth mic and position themselves correctly, and they have enough lighting which is in front of them, not behind them, and that they have pinned their timer on the screen contest. Now, why I'm saying it's important, because as a contest chair, I'm not gonna, when he comes to me, hello, I can see you, can you just turn right a little bit to left, your camera, did you pin the time? I'm not gonna say that. Oh, I don't think we should say that. Sergeant Arms must get the contestant ready. Now, this is not a table topic or evaluation, so he doesn't have to move from one room to another, he's there. Okay, and last time I faced a problem, I had to wait, and I didn't see him. I introduced him, and then he came later and he said ready, all right? So, and then you say the normal letters now start the ball rolling, the follow Toastmasters, and the same thing. Contestant number 1, his name, speech title, and of course, Toastmaster contestant number 1. And then you do that for all the contestants. Excuse me, there is somebody who's talking. Konolu, Umama Ishwarao, can you switch off your phone? Thank you. See, this is what I don't like. You know, don't be interrupted. I hate being interrupted. Now, having said that, when you finish, you say the usual thing. Thank you. Let us applaud. Okay, let us please observe 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. And then you say, timer, please indicate clearly to me when the 1 minute is over, because you might be pinning your thing. If you're not pinning, so at least you'll say 1 minute is over so you can hear it. And then the certificate is displayed, and then you say, contestants, this is your certificate of participation, which will be sent to you or to your email, which is registered with us. That's what we do in online. Now, what to omit from traditional script? Now, you know, we have the traditional script, you all know it, but certain clauses cannot be said. For instance, 1, for a smooth conduct, I would like to remind the request audience to please abide by the following. All mobiles are switched off on silent mode. Or movement in the hall is not permitted while contesting. Make sure you omit this from your thing. We don't see them. What hall are you talking about? The second thing, now while I call out the names, contestants, please stand up at the place where you are seated and acknowledge your presence. Give me a break. Or audience, to inspire our contestants, please hold your applause till the contestants have been called. Lead the applause. All right. Maybe we have the virtual one. That's not real one. Now, Sergeant Arms, please make sure that no one enters or leaves the hall during the speech of contestants. Give me a break. Are you going to say that in your as a contest master chair? They would laugh at you. Okay. And are the contestants, the judges, the timers, and the audience are ready? You say that in the hall, not here. And then, of course, to exit, the exiting is on your right, and the conference room is 9th floor above us, or maybe 10 floors down below. Conference room. Anybody wants, like now, I'm delivering this, and most probably everybody is going to the conference room. How do I know? All right. Okay. Now, these are, ladies and gentlemen, your 10 commandments as a contest master. Okay. Because if you think you're sitting alone in front of the PC and having coffee and watching, okay, think twice. There are hundreds of people who are watching you, okay, and watching every move you make. So like now, maybe people are watching, at least those who are still here, those who didn't go for a break, okay? Now, the first one, arrive well ahead of the contest briefing time, well-groomed, well-dressed, and with energy. That's important. You know, you have to start, because you're the one who's going to actually arouse the audience. 2, it's mandatory to attend the briefing and to note down speaking slots and the speech titles in advance, so you're well prepared. Okay. 3, during the briefing, you do also check with the Sergeant Arms both your audio and video status. That's very important. I mean, if you're asking the contestants to check their audio and visual, etc., and you haven't done it, come on, you have to be a role model. What I did this morning, I woke up at 6 o'clock, which was about, I think, I don't know, 11 there, whatever. I called Norman. We went online. I showed him my video. I showed him my sound. I showed him the presentation. It worked out. I gave him a back copy just in case. You never know. I might fail. I'm not good at technology. Okay, I'm not like the previous presentations. I mean, this is a stone age presentation compared to what James and Chief Judge and the others did. But it serves the purpose. All right? Rename. I mean, you name yourself if you have a role, like contest master, international speech, your name, and whatever it is. It's important to rename your name if you have a role to play, or if you are a contestant. All right? 5, use a computer. Pin the speaker timer as required and keep your eyes on the timer. Particularly the speaker. It's very important that you have the timer there, you can see him. We don't like to hear the timer saying, red. Oh, sorry, green. I saw some speakers when they heard green. Excuse me? Come on, is that part of your speech? So pin it so you don't get into that situation. Next. Come on, computer. 6, communicate with Sergeant Arms and co-host for confirmation of next contestant readiness. This is important for you as a contestant. And please, please, Sergeant at Arms and co-host, make sure you bring them before and her so I can hear them early and say ready so I can start. We don't waste time. And best time to bring them when they say give the judges 1 minute. So since we're not putting the judges on on the show, which I'd love to, okay, then bring him. Let me see him while I'm waiting. So at least I can see he's okay, he's not okay, and if there's a problem, I can quickly send a message to the child and say, hey, can you tell the guy to move a little bit right or left because I cannot see him or whatever. All right. Next is wait to hear the contestant confirm ready before calling their name. And that happened to me last time in the demo. I called the name and I said his speech time, God knows what else, and the guy has not appeared yet. And then suddenly he appeared. Yeah, come on, that shouldn't happen. Thank you, Sergeant Atam. Stay in constant touch with the contest chair and the technical team as a contest master, of course, so that you can be returned to a room in case, you know what? Last time it happened to me, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. The contestant, you know, the speaker was there, and I was watching him, enjoying it. And then it was like 6 minutes, and then I pressed one button, out of the room. Oh my God. You know, I was panicking because the next one might come and I'm not there. Lucky enough, we have Nauman. He's a great guy. He brought me back. You know, during those, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds, it looked like 1 year. You know what I wished at that time? I said, oh my God, I hope that this contestant will go above board. 7 minutes and 35 seconds. He might be disqualified. It's okay, but at least I go back to the room. Come on, don't believe me. Okay. Next, what's next? Next, use 2 devices just in case you lose one connection. Yes, after it happened to me, and after that time, I used 10 devices. Now, today, I didn't want to use 2 because I already rehearsed, I already gone with the normal through everything. And when I tried to use the device, there was a bit of a clash of, I've got a presentation. Take it easy. So I'm not using the other one, but I'm fine. Okay, so far. 10, speak with passion and enthusiasm to inspire the speakers and your virtual audience. Now, if you come as a contestant, say, our next contestant is number 1, and his speech, give me a break. I mean, the whole event was boring online, you know. Give it a bit of oomph, give it a bit of liveliness, all right? These are, ladies and gentlemen, your 10 commandments. Oh, yeah, by the way, it's important to keep smiling, you know. It's not serious. You know the contestant, you know the speaker, you're fine. You're just making the show in there. But he's nervous, he's not smiling, that's his problem. He shouldn't be, but you shouldn't, all right? Now you have to close. Okay, so you say, thank you. That was the last contestant. Let's please take 3 minutes of silence. The judge to mark the ballots. Please indicate when the 3 minutes are over. You give him a certificate, and then you wait for 3 minutes. I don't know. I suggested let's put music. They say, oh, it might disturb the judges. Yeah, but the judges are in a different room. We cannot see them. I wish I can see them. If I was a judge, I'll put myself there. Don't worry about it. Okay, but I'm not. So no silence. So after they finish, this concludes the international speech contest. Now I would like to take this opportunity and thank everybody, the judges, blah blah blah. You don't need, as I said, to mention everybody except dignitaries and judges and audience or what have you. As I said, they've already been mentioned by the previous contest chair. So that's, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, this is all you have to do. You see, the groundwork and the heavy work is done by the contest chair and the chief judge. They have the big role. And I feel sorry a little bit for, the contest of a table topic and evaluation, because that's also a bit tricky. But this one, come on, give me a piece of cake. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this is what counts. Because nobody can ever do it alone. It's teamwork makes the dream work. As simple as that. And as I say, individually, we are one drop. Together, we are an ocean. I love this quote and I live by it all my entire life. So thank you so much. And back to you, not contest chair. In this case, back to you, moderator. Thank you, and bye-bye. Now you can come back. Now you can come back. The show is over. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you, Didier, for that. It was an amazing presentation. And what I love the most about that presentation was that you remembered to post some photos of some of the selected people. So I'm so glad that I was among those photos too. I'm just kidding. But beyond that, uh, I really love the fact that you described to the attendees about the script and the best practices for a contest master in a prepared speech category contest. And now, dear leaders, since these two segments are intertwined, let us directly move on and hear from our next presenter. Then we can have the comprehensive Q&A session at the end. So next presenter is known to District 79 as a speech contestant, a public speaker, not in international speech contest or in motivational speeches, but she's inspiring enough to make people laugh. And that is why she has been the only female contestant to ever win the humorous speech contest of District 79. So ladies and gentlemen, with a thunderous round of virtual applause, once again welcome the humor queen of District 79, Toastmaster Minuri Vijayasekara.
Thank you very much, DTM Madhusha, for that very sweet introduction. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I know, after DTM Fatah's presentation, you are certainly not interested in listening to me. But as I have committed to something, I am going to go ahead with it. So welcome to our next presentation, which is the Contest Master's role for evaluation and table topics. Now, there are several things that DTM Fatah has beautifully explained, especially the 10 commandments that he explained about a contest master's role. So I'm not going to repeat that because I know y'all are just waiting to rush and have your dinner and just have some nice time during this quarantine. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the specific details that a contest master for an evaluation contest and a table topic contest need to keep in mind. So of course, as per usual, I'm going to talk about what we are going to do during the contest, before and after. Now let's start with before the contest. Of course, as a contest master, you need to attend the contestant and assignee briefings because you are a key player in this entire contest. And if you have no clue what to do, then of course the contest is certainly going to go down the drain. So you need to attend the contestant and assignee briefing and of course note down the contestant order. That is very important because in the middle of a contest, you can't go, who's number two, who's number two? Trust me, it has happened. Next, you need to check and prepare your audio and video. Now, like DTM Fatah really rightly said, if you are not ready with your audio and video settings, you are a hypocrite if you criticize someone else for theirs. So you need to prepare your audio and video settings perfectly beforehand. And of course, the third and very important aspect is preparing a detailed script. Now coming to our script. The script of a contest master is quite important because it is very important and it's a key element in your role. Now, if it's not prepared, if it's going to be done impromptu, you are certainly going to forget very key points. So I recommend, and I think the entire Toastmasters fraternity recommends, that you need to prepare your scripts earlier and not just do it offhand. Now, first of all, you have to take care of the important aspects. What are the important aspects of the speech, the script? What are you going to prepare? What is going to be your, the base of your script? So you need to understand what is important in a contest master script and you have to secondly limit repetitions. Now there are certain areas where you have to repeat some rules, or you have to come back to some you know, regulations that you need to remind people. Let's not repeat that again and again. As Toastmasters, we know that we are supposed to keep our mobiles on silent. We know that we need to stop interrupting. So these repetitions can be limited, and so your script can be a little bit more concise. Let's avoid unnecessary jargon. Let's not talk about too many inspirational people in the script. Your opening statements are more than enough, and then let's just move right into our business. And of course, arrange the speaking order. Like I said, let's note down the speaking order and arrange it in your script as well. Because during the last moment, if you have noted your speaking order somewhere else and your script is in another place, it's going to take a long pause for you to check both and speak. So it's better to arrange everything in one document so that you are well prepared ahead of time. Now, since we are in the era of a virtual contest, we have some rules or reminders that need to be added, especially for the evaluation and table topics contest masters. Now, DTM Feta has wonderfully explained what you need to remove from your script, and I'm going to talk about what you need to add to your script. Firstly, the isolation rooms. You need to inform the audience, the listening audience, that there are isolation rooms that are enforced to keep the contestants in until it is their turn, because evaluation and the table topic contests are very delicate contests compared to the prepared contests, because this contest brings about a world of possibilities for the contestants to find out what the others are talking about. So you need to reassure the audience, and you need to uh, remind them that there are isolation rooms that have been put in place, and there are sergeant at arms who are waiting in those isolation rooms along with the contestants, and they are ensuring that the integrity is maintained. So you need to mention about the isolation rooms in your script, that the contestants will be moved to the isolation room except for contestant number 1, and they will be brought back into the main room when the time comes. All right. Next up, you have to remind them about pinning the timer. Now, this is a big problem that usually occurs, because when a contestant is speaking, they have no idea where the timer is. Especially if there are too many people visible, it's going to be a problem. So the contestant needs to be reminded to pin the timer onto their screen so that they are not interrupted by anything else, and they can only see the timer screen, and they are well aware of their timings. So usually in a contest, there will be 2 timers. One will be the chief, and there will be a backup timer. So the best option is to pin one of the timers, recommended the chief timer, and keep the other timer also visible in the top bar where you can scroll through the participants. You must try to keep the second timer visible as well, so that in case something goes wrong with the first timer, you can depend on the second. So this is mandatory to be put into your new scripts, because the contestants need to be aware of this. Then this is a critical point. Next up is, of course, the setting up of the audio and video. Now, for the table topic speakers, they are going to speak. It's going to be a mini speech, right? It's going to be a mini speech. So it is recommended for them to set up their speaking area as though they're going to give a prepared speech. That is, they have to do it standing. So it's recommended to check their video settings beforehand to hear the audio if it's audible when they are standing and speaking, so that they can use their settings properly. The second part comes when the evaluation contestants come. Now, the evaluation contestants, it's not necessary for them to stand and speak. They can deliver their speeches while sitting. However, for an evaluation contest, it's a little bit more complicated, because we need to identify and verify the evaluation sheets they are using. So it is recommended for an evaluation speaker or an evaluation contestant to keep their camera angle in such a way that they are visible as well as their papers. For example, Now, if I'm an evaluation contestant, I would push back my view and keep my table visible along with my paper and my pen. So I can see the screen and watch the target speaker speaking, and then I can also note down my notes. And this entire process is visible to the audience. So setting up of the audio and video should be added into the script of the contest master. And finally, a reminder to the audience to mute their microphones, because of course we have so many interruptions that are going on, and it's inevitable. It's like Thanos said, it's inevitable. So you need to put a reminder in so that the audience can remember to mute their mics and not cause any disruptions during the speeches. Now comes the entire culmination of your hard work, the during of the contest. First of all, as a contest master, you are part of the core team, so you need to be very vigilant about the procedures and the technical aspects. You need to know what is going to happen when. And of course, you need to be familiar with the platform, because unfortunately, there are some risky buttons you can press. Like DTM Fatah said, he was accidentally pushed out of the meeting room because he had pressed a button. So you need to know, you have to have the know-how of using the platform. Secondly, you need to rename yourself using the predetermined prefix. Now there's going to be a comprehensive guide where you can see the prefixes each role player has. So I've just given an example here: contest master /EV for evaluation, TT for table topics, and then your name. So this has to be maintained so that the host or the Zoom master can find you, identify you easily. Then, of course, confirm the topic or the target speaker's details privately with the contest chair or the chief judge, respectively. Now, the topic can either be given by our contest chair, or if he delegates it to the contest master, it can be done by the contest master as well. So, you need to, again, communicate with the team and find out who is going to do what, and you have to communicate that privately. And it is better to keep it a little bit ahead of time, not when the international contest is going on, you have to keep the topic ready, but you need to keep yourself ready ahead of time so that there is going to be no interruption during the proceedings. Then, of course, coordinate well with the sergeant at arms, the contest chair, and the chief judge, because these three personnel are your best friends at that point. Now, especially for a table topic and evaluation contest, you need to make sure that the procedures are going fine, because the contestants need to be escorted from one room to another, and it is not as easy as doing it in a physical setting, because this is a very technical thing that the Zoom master has to handle. So you need to coordinate with the sergeant at arms, the chief sergeant at arms, and the sergeant at arms who is in the briefing room, or sorry, the quarantine room, with the contestants. So when the sergeant at arms notifies you, that is when you need to start, right? Start the rest of the proceedings. And of course, the contest chair and chief judge need to be in the loop as well. For this communication, another platform is recommended, like WhatsApp. You can have your own WhatsApp chat, and the sergeant at arms can just confirm that the contestant is in the main room, instead of actually saying it out loud, because that sort of drops down the professionalism of the thing. So it's better to have a private chat with the sergeant at arms and the chief sergeant at arms to know that this person or this next contestant has entered the main room. Then, of course, wait for the contestant to arrive, and then the sergeant at arms confirmation, because the confirmation has to come from the sergeant at arms. So you need to wait for that, and of course that will be done in the 1 minute interval between the speeches. So you need to wait for the confirmation before you start announcing anything. Then, of course, wait for the contestants' consent before announcing them. Now, each contestant has to check their audio and video settings again when they come into the main room from the quarantine area, because even though they have already pinned the timer before they were escorted to the other room, it's going to take them a little bit of time, maybe few seconds, to set up their video and audio, and of course pin the timer again. So You have to wait for the contestant to say ready before you announce them and welcome them to the stage, the virtual stage. So wait for the contestant's consent, wait for the word ready from them, and then you have to announce them. And finally, present the certificate of participation for each contestant after they have finished their speech. Now, of course, we cannot escort them to a stage and physically give them their certificates. So virtual certificates are more than enough. So this is a template of the certificate. The Zoom master will display the certificate and you just need to announce and present it to them. Then, of course, after everything is done, after the contestants have finished and the judges are deliberating, comes the presenting of the certificate of appreciation to the target speaker in case of evaluation. All right. You have to then hand over the controls. And finally, after everything is done, if the contest chair commands you to, you need to receive the results from the chief judge and announce the winners. So that depends all upon the traditions or the procedures you follow. But if the contest chair wants to announce it, of course, he has the liberty to. But if he wants you to do it, you must receive the results from the chief judge and then announce it publicly. So that is all I have for the contest masters. I'm sure all of you can do a great job, and I'm just sitting here and boring you all. But thank you very much for listening. And if there are any questions, I'm sure DTM Fatah and myself are ready to answer. But thank you for listening to me, and all the very best, all of you. I wish you all the very best in this virtual journey. I know our lives are very uncertain nowadays, but this District 79 platform, the PQ program quality team has provided us with a wonderful sense of hope. So thank you very much. All the best. And back to you, Mr. Program Quality Director. I hope I didn't bore the PQD to sleep.
Wake him up, wake him up.
DTM Madhusha, are you awake?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry, just was a slight delay. Fantastic presentation. I think DTM Fatah and you complemented each other, and that's why we are going to have loads of questions from our attendees, starting with Uma Maheshwar Rao. So let us hear from DTM Uma.
అదైన తర్వాత రీసెర్చ్ మీద అప్పుడు రీసెర్చ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఎదురు కానీ
You see, he's doing something else. He interrupted my show, and now he's interrupting us again. Mama,
Some other topic.
Right,
he's got a problem at home.
I don't see any other hands raised. Maybe we can have a common discussion with all of us, among us. We have some special guests like DTM Johnson, Toastmaster Adil Ayub, and DTM Says.
Adil Jiman is there too, our champion.
Yeah. So let us hear from Toastmaster Adil, because just yesterday he conducted the Arabic mock contest for District 79, and it was attended by nearly 150 Toastmasters. And it can be qualified as one of the most successful projects in District 79. And it really complemented the English version of the mock contest. So Toastmaster Adil, share with us your experience. I'm going to unmute you now.
بريد محبوس ها بس من الاوضه زوم لاوضه ها عرفت المدرسه كانت كيف؟ تعمل فيها اصحاب تتكلم معاهم هنا كان الحريه انت صرت الحريه بجد جيت هنا.
All right, this is why you should not unmute anybody without their acquired permission. All right, DTM Says, any comments? Our admin manager.
The princess.
I think she's also away.
No, I'm still awake.
Oh, okay. You're awake.
But I make myself busy with other things. So sorry, I'm just doing my report in the hospital.
No worries. So what do you think of this session, and anything to share with us from your experience?
Well, all the presenters tonight are, amazing. It was really very informative, and I believe that most of our attendees right now, they knew already how to run the online contest, and they defined it very well. And if there is points, I think it's more on the technical issues, which I think we can avoid it also if we can just log in earlier. But other than that, I can say that you gave a lot of informations already. You taught them how to do it, and you provided a lot of support for all the attendees who's going to do all these online contests. So thank you so much for all our presenters tonight. You did really an amazing job. I know that you support the district, the PQ team to make all these events a remarkable one. So let's work together, just keep on holding, then I know that this crisis will surpass, but we never give up, and we never stop from learning. Thank you so much, Mr. PQD.
If no questions, let's move on. Yes.
No questions.
DTM Fatah, either we were incredible or they were not listening.
Yeah, exactly. There's no question. We covered everything. So let's go home.
You are incredible.
Thank you, Princess. Thank you, Princess.
You were
Maraming salamat po.
Walang anuman po.
Okay, DTM Johnson, do you have any comments, any concerns?
Why are you digging? I have no questions. Why are you digging?
Okay, all right. Calm down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was a great experience even for me. I learned a lot, things that I didn't even think that was possible when it comes to online speech contest through this experience that I shared with you through the mock contest as well as these sessions. Now, I really want to share with you another fact, how we work in the program quality team. Well, trust me, we have a lot of fun when we prepare ourselves for these programs. And even as we speak, at the moment, the program quality team group in WhatsApp is loaded with messages about these presenters.
Madhusha,
yes?
Madhusha, there are 3 hands raised. I think they have got questions, please.
There were? Hold on, let me see. All right, well, yeah, so let me complete. So that's the thing. What I'm trying to say is that you need to have entertainment when you work. And that is even important in any contest organization. So when you're organizing for your contest, make sure that you make it a pleasant and a cherishing experience to all those who attend, including the contestants. Then only the outcome will be a credible one. So we invited Toastmaster Adel to speak. I'll